One thing's for sure in this car is that no matter where you go, it's an absolute head turner. Everyone's looking, maybe they're looking at the bald old guy driving a sports car, or maybe they're looking at the cute little hairdresser's car, or maybe they're actually looking at the MX-5 Fastback, loving what it looks like. And I like to think that, well, I don't mind what they think, but I really love this car. I love its look. G'day guys, it's Rob from Throttle Downunder. I'm down here on the beautiful Brooklyn waterway, test driving today the Mazda MX-5 RF. RF stands for Retractable Fastback. This is the 2017 model, and it's been kindly lent to me today from Central Coast Mazda. I'll put a link for Central Coast Mazda below the video, so make sure you click on their link, follow through to their website, and if you've got any inquiries regarding any sort of Mazda vehicle, be sure to contact them, and in particular Blake. Ask for Blake and they'll help you out. If you want an MX-5, I've just driven this from Gosford back down to here, and now I'm going to do a little bit of filming on the way back to Gosford, but this car is absolutely phenomenal. I have to admit that I'm actually an MX-5 owner. I have a 2003 NB MX-5 and I love it. It's my toy, it just sits in the garage, but I get that out as much as I can and I absolutely love it. And this is my MX-5 done over 1,000,000 times. This is such a beautiful car to drive. It's so responsive, so powerful. So let's jump in it and take it for a spin back up to Gosford along the old Pacific Highway, and let's run it through its paces. This MX-5 RF GT comes with 17-inch alloy wheels, auto headlamps, power mirrors, rain sensing wipers, leather trim seats and dash, and the powertrain is a 2-litre Sky Active 4-cylinder 16-valve double overhead cam engine. Max power output is 118 kilowatts at 6,000 RPM, and max torque comes in at 200 Newton meters at 4,600 RPM. The super unique thing about the Mazda MX-5 RF is RF stands for Retractable Fastback. Now this hardtop that we've got that makes the car look like a coupe actually folds down, leaving the buttresses behind, which actually creates a feeling like a Targa, like the Porsche Targas. So here we go, we're going to bring the top down. Takes about 12 seconds to come all the way down. Folds in behind the buttresses, and the buttresses come back down again. And then it's locked into place, nice and safe. And another 12 seconds to bring it back up. And then it'll beep when it comes fully back into place, locks in, and there we go. Gives you the security of a coupe hardtop. You know, less likely to get a knife slicing through the roof to get into the car, but it also gives you that beautiful roof down, open air top driving that you can get driving an MX-5 and what they're really famous for. Inside the cabin, everything's nice and plush as well. You can see the indicator on the left hand side of the gauge cluster, indicating when the roof is opening and when the operation is completed, and returning back into the roof on position. The infotainment center in the MX-5 is not unlike any other modern Mazdas. You can use the touchscreen when you're not driving, but whilst you're driving you have to use the toggles down below, the volume toggling and also the home buttons. You can navigate quite easily from your radio through to your CD and also your navigation as well. A very handy 2 USB slots in the center console with a auxiliary and also the heated seat controls as well. This is the roof up and down toggle. And this car has no glove box. There is a small compartment in the center console, and just behind your left elbow there's also a slightly larger compartment to store all of your documents and your phones and your wallets. You can also see the 2 removable drink holders. These can be put in this position or also beside the passenger's legs. Boot space is always a concern in the MX-5, but to be honest, you don't buy an MX-5 to carry things around. As you can see, I've got my full camera kit in here, 2 full-size tripods, plus a whole bunch of other stuff, and it fit in the boot quite cleverly. Now the boot is deep, but the entrance isn't very wide, so as I pan out, you'll see that the entrance is quite narrow. We're going to head back up the old Pacific Highway now and have a little bit of fun before we have to return this beautiful little machine back to Central Coast Mazda. They've been really kind to me today to lend me this car for a few hours, and I really have had a good time. It's a great little car. So let's hit the road, get some air conditioning going in here, cool things down a little bit, and head back up the old Pacific Highway. So what I'm going to do now, we're just cruising along in automatic, and the automatic is quite responsive, surprisingly. But what I'm going to do is switch the lever here over into manual, and now you can actually adjust your gear selections either with the knob by pushing forwards and backwards, or with the flappy toggles on the front of the wheel. So I had a bit of a play with this on the way down the highway, and it's really quite nice. It's a little bit safer, you don't have to take your hands off the steering wheel. I have to admit, I do prefer a manual. It's just something that's been bred into me, but my wife can't drive a manual, so this automatic transmission would be perfect for us, because that way I could still have fun using the paddle selectors, but my wife could still drive it in automatic and would be one happy family. Yeah, it's such a beautiful car to drive. It's these paddle shifters, for a standard automatic, they are really quite responsive. They're very accurate. They rev match nicely on the downshift. They certainly, do you know what? I can't fault them. For average person driving, I can't fault them. On the track, you might have a different issue, but this is really nice. There's certainly a massive improvement in the torque from the last few generations of MX-5. It's the one thing that I miss in my car, is when you're running high-end, high revs, you've got such a responsive car. But when you're running through and relying on the fact that you might need a bit of torque, down low you don't have it. Grandmas in their Toyota Corollas can beat me off the lights in my MX-5. They might not catch me on a twisty road though. I'm not sure if you can hear the engine note at all, but this little 2-litre Skyactiv has got a really nice little growl, and the exhaust has got quite a nice note too. If I was to buy this, however, I would put an exhaust through and just to Herbie it up a little bit. But stock straight out of the factory, it sounds really nice. Really sounds nice. There's a bit of wind noise around your head, probably a little bit more than the standard convertible. But you know, I think that if you had this car, you would have the roof up when you're on highway, doing freeway work, 100 and above, you probably have the roof up, I would say. Well, I would anyway. And then you just pull the roof down when you're on the nice little back roads having a bit of fun or cruising down the coast. But all in all, guys, this little Mazda MX-5 RF, I've loved my few hours in this little baby. It's such a fun car. Actually, I'm surprised that it's so much more fun than I expected it would be. It's a little ripper. The power, it's got more than enough torque for what you need. If you were tracking it, yeah, you'd probably need to do a tune of some sort. But if you're not tracking this little thing, like just for what I use it for Sunday driving, yeah, you don't need much more power than what you've got. You've got plenty of power, plenty of response, plenty of top end as well. I guess the main competition for this car in the marketplace would be the Subaru BRZ and the Toyota 86. Probably in the past the MX-5 wasn't such a competitor to those because the MX-5 only came in the soft top version. But now that this car has this retractable fastback, so when the roof up, essentially it's a coupe. And so I would say it's direct competition now to the Subaru BRZ and the 86. So next on the agenda will be to drive either an 86 or a BRZ, and I don't really mind. Essentially, they're the same car with a different badge and the fitting's a little bit different in the cabin. So let's tick off the box for the next one, Subaru BRZ or a Toyota 86. Again, guys, thanks for watching our videos. Thanks for being so supportive on our YouTube channel and our Facebook. Our Facebook website and Instagram links are all down below. Underneath this video, you'll see all of the links down there. There'll be a link there to Central Coast Mazda. The guys at Central Coast Mazda have been so kind to lend me this car for a few hours to do this video and a nice little review.